Kasalukuyan pong tinatalakay ng Kamara ang national budget para sa taong 2015. Pakinggan po natin.
And guarantee fund. There is a list, and the president cannot spend that because that's pension and gratuity money. In the same manner,
And how much is that allocation for 2015?
it's 140 billion, Mr. Chairman.
So those who are claiming that this is presidential pork is talking about the pensions and the gratuities as presidential pork.
Yeah, but if the president touches that and people retire, what do you think will happen, Mr. Chairman? In the same manner, miscellaneous personal benefits fund. You know, there are unfilled items in government or new positions created that need to be filled up. And, you know, the president does not have, you know, if the agencies, for example, decide to fill up, DOJ hires the lawyers, then they need this fund to be able to pay the salaries. For example, we intend to hire 30,000 teachers. That's in this budget, and the president cannot touch that. So the other items in this are merit increases, overtime services, you know, requirements of the rationalization program because some are retiring early. So these are items that you know, you do not have full discretion over because once the agencies tap into them, we have to hire the 30,000 teachers. So I'm surprised that you know, they're called presidential pork when the president has no discretion over this. Yeah.
So maliwanag po na ito ay hindi presidential pork, kundi mga items na may specific na paggagamitan.
And there is a disaggregation per agency of these two big items. So malalaman mo kung magkano yung hiningi ng bawat ahensya dito dahil alam nila kung sino yung magre-retire, either compulsory or optional sa kanilang mga tanggapan.
Thank you, Secretary. There's also a claim by, I think it was former National Treasurer Liling Briones. She's claiming that the 2015 budget is an election budget, maybe for 2016. Kaya siguro si Vice President Binay gusto na lumipat sa LP. Kaya mabait na sa akin si Congressman Tobing ngayon eh. Anyway, will you please explain this? Ano itong claim na ito na this is an election budget?
Well, it's just a claim. I don't think I absolutely disagree with that observation because we took pains, the NEDA, the Bangko Sentral, the Department of Finance, and myself to explain what is the basis of this budget. And we set forth the priorities, you know, the sectoral priorities as well as the geographical priorities of the budget. So this is really based on a rational budget priorities framework, and it cannot be distorted by partisan politics. Otherwise, we will fail to achieve both the objectives of poverty reduction and economic expansion. And I don't think that it's a good way to you know, structure and execute your budget.
Maybe she's talking about the grassroots participatory budgeting. Maybe you can explain it. Is this not for election purposes?
Well, this is the third year that we are going to be implementing this. And, you know, I think the ideal situation for any budget is for citizens to be able to tell legislators and the executive that these are our priorities insofar as the budget is concerned. I think that's what we want to happen, you know. Are people telling us that, you know, because if you want a budget that truly reflects, you know, the aspirations and the needs of our people, then really it's important for us to hear what the people want. So the president has started a process. You know, this is not fully the process yet, but to try to find out whether, in fact, it's a viable exercise that we can do by listening directly to our people about what their priorities are, especially in the area of reducing poverty and provision of basic social services. So that's why we launched this, and we started with about 950 towns and cities, and in 2016, it will cover about 1,600 plus municipalities and cities. And you know, there's a process that you need to follow to be able to avail of I think if you look at the slides there, it's not as if the mayor or anybody can dictate what to provide in their respective LGU proposal. There are deliberations and consultations that happen, and there is also a standard. You know, even if you submit a proposal, but you fail to achieve certain governance requirements, for example, the attainment of the seal of good housekeeping, which was started by the late Secretary Jesse Robredo. If you're an LGU and you have a adverse finding in your financial statements, you will not qualify for this project. Or if you have not complied with the full disclosure policy, then you will not be able to qualify for this project. And then there is substantial requirement also that you have to participate in a public financial management improvement plan. So there are requirements, and there is a process, and so it cannot be said that it will be very difficult to conclude that this is an election budget, because it's very strict about standards and processes, Mr. Chairman.
Meaning that there will be greater participation of the non-government organizations in determining what projects in the community.
Yes,
Ito ay pagtutulungan ng local government at ng mamamayan.
tama yun. Ultimately, what we want to achieve is not just voice, but also vote. Ibig sabihin, pag nagkaroon ng municipal or barangay council at mamimili ng proyekto yung mga konseho, dapat yung mga CSOs or PTCA or church-based organizations or farmers associations kasama dun sa hindi lang pag-numbra, kundi kung hanggat maaari, pagboto rin na yun ang kanilang isasubmit na project.
So maliwanag po na itong GPB ay hindi DAP o hindi PDAP ng mga legislators. Kung ito ay PDAP, ito ay PDAP ng mga mamamayan. Dahil sila magdedetermine ng mga priority projects.
It will not even, we cannot even characterize this as PDAP, because as defined by the Supreme Court, it's a post-enactment intervention. This one is really integrally part of the budget. So nakalista yan sa budget natin. In fact, nandyan yan dun sa isa sa mga volumes, nakalista lahat dun yung project.
Meaning that the people will participate in the budget preparation.
They have already done that because it's already listed in the GAA as we proposed. And the next phase of participation is in the budget execution, Mr. Chairman.
How do you select LGUs in the implementation of this?
Well, the first priority were the LGUs categorized as where there is a high poverty incidence, or the magnitude of the poor is high, even if the incidence is not as high. And then, these are LGUs categorized as geohazard areas, where therefore, the poor people or the near poor people, when calamity happens, they can in fact fail and become even poorer. So, merong yung cluster, human development cluster of the cabinet, together with the Philippine Statistical Authority, work on that to make sure that we're able to target those municipalities.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. For my last question, I would like to ask Secretary Balisacan. In the midst of this mess about the port congestion, and recently may away pa ho ang MMDA at ang LFTRB. may dent ho ba sa, may napoproject ba kayong dent sa ating GDP, itong nangyayaring problema sa ating mga ports?
Yan po ang nagaganap ng pagdinig ngayon sa Kamara tungkol sa budget ng gobyerno para sa taong 2015. Naroon mismo si Budget Secretary Butch Abad para sagutin ang katanungan ng mga kongresista at idepensa ang kanilang panukalang budget. Isa sa mga sinagot ni Secretary Abad ay ang lump sum na kasama ngayon sa budget. Ayon kay Abad, hindi raw totoong pork barrel fund ito ng Pangulo. Nakalaan daw ang budget sa mga ahensya at kung susuriin ay makikita naman daw kung saan at ano ang paggagamitan sa mga ito. Inaasa namang gigisahin ng mga opposition congressman itong si Butch Abad sa pagpapatuloy ng pagdinig na yan. Bukod kay Abad, nasa pagdinig din si BIR Commissioner Kim Menares, Finance Secretary Cesar Purisima at BSP Governor Amado Tetangco.